For over 7 decades, Hollywood has witnessed the unyielding spirit of Lee Grant, a woman whose career was nearly crushed before it soared. In 1951, at just 25, she earned her first Oscar nomination for Detective Story. Days later, her name appeared in a government pamphlet, branding her a communist sympathizer. Blacklisted, she was shunned by the industry, her phone tapped, her every move shadowed by the FBI. Her marriage crumbled under the strain, and she pawned her jewelry to feed her daughter. For 12 years, from 1952 to 1964, she was barred from film and television, her income plummeting from $75,000 to a mere $4,000 a year. She survived by teaching acting under pseudonyms and scraping by in secret theater gigs. By the time Hollywood relented, her youth had faded, but her story was far from over. At 99, she's still directing, still defying the odds, and the tale of her resilience will leave you stunned. Born Lyova Haskell Rosenthal on October 31, 1925, in Manhattan, Lee came from Russian Jewish immigrants who fled Odessa's brutal pogroms. Her mother, Wisha, escaped with her sister, leaving behind family likely lost to violence. Arriving in New York with nothing but hope, they settled in a cramped apartment at 148th Street and Riverside. Her father, Abraham, toiled as a realtor and teacher to keep them afloat during the Great Depression, but tensions ran high. His Polish Orthodox parents disapproved of his marriage to Wisha, adding strain. Lee's birth year was a mystery, sometimes listed as 1931, a common ambiguity among immigrants with spotty records. Yet her talent shone early. At 4, in 1931, she graced the Metropolitan Opera stage as a kidnapped princess in Laura Colo, performing alongside world-class singers while most kids her age babbled in half-sentences. This led to a scholarship at the neighborhood playhouse, shaping her destiny. Behind the curtain, her home was a pressure cooker. Wisha, who'd sacrificed everything, pushed Lee into ballet, opera, and acting classes, leaving no room for a normal childhood. The weight of her mother's ambitions grew crushing. Once, Wisha forced Lee to perform in blackface at school, chasing applause at any cost. By age 10, Wisha's mental health unraveled, culminating in a suicide attempt Lee discovered, forcing her to call for help, a trauma that never faded. At 11, Lee joined the American Ballet Theater, one of its youngest dancers, but puberty swiftly ended that dream. Growing several inches in months, she became too tall for male partners, shattering her family's hopes pinned on ballet. In their tiny Bronx apartment, Lee practiced on the fire escape, her father's endless work barely sustaining them. They relied on New Deal aid, and Lee often went to bed hungry. By 12, she was the breadwinner, acting, singing, and dancing while her peers attended school, her earnings covering food, utilities, and rent. The cost was her childhood, leaving scars she'd carry forever. At 17, she became Lee Grant, shedding her past to blend into Broadway. In 1948, she landed her first major role in Joy to the World, stunning critics despite no formal stage training. She performed at the Met at 4, studied under Sanford Meisner by 16, and trained at Juilliard Post High School, driven by Wish's relentless push. In 1949, at 22, she auditioned for Detective Story, rejecting the young girl role to read for a 40-year-old shoplifter, channeling voices from New York buses and wearing a borrowed size 18 jumper. Her bold choice won the Critics' Circle Award, launching her ascent. She honed her craft with Lee Strasberg at the Actors Studio, mastering method acting. In 1951, she reprised her role in the film Detective Story with Kirk Douglas, earning an Oscar nod at 25. That same year, she married screenwriter Arnold Manoff, tied to the Communist Party, a world she barely grasped. Her eulogy at actor J. Edward Bromberg's funeral, blaming the government for his death, changed everything. 2 days later, her name appeared in red channels, labeling her a communist sympathizer. At 24, she was blacklisted, her Hollywood dreams shattered. From 1952 to 1964, she was banned from film and TV, refusing to betray others before the House Un-American Activities Committee, a choice that cost her dearly. Before the blacklist, she'd shown in early TV, playing Rose Peabody in Search for Tomorrow in 1953, her character's suspenseful soup-poisoning plot gripping viewers, with Don Knotts as her mute brother. But a Syracuse store owner's postcard to CBS calling her a communist ended that role overnight. Advertisers shunned controversy, and her career stalled. In Hollywood, she'd seen the industry's dark side. Sexism was rampant, with women making up just 20% of casts by 1930, down from 40% in 1920, and power concentrated in 5 major studios: Warner Brothers, Paramount, MGM, Fox, and RKO. Lee resisted inappropriate advances, no matter the cost. Her 1952 Cannes Best Actress win for Detective Story was overshadowed by the blacklist's weight. She couldn't work, couldn't speak out, only endure. She found refuge in small theater productions under false names. Her performances still fiery, rooted in raw improvisations from her Broadway days at 17. Even in the 1950s, returning to shows like The Goldbergs, she faced pay gaps, equal billing with men but far less pay, and ethnic shows were axed as too risky during the Red Scare. In 1953, she joined Stalag 17 on Broadway, clashing with tough director Jose Ferrer, her method acting fueling legendary backstage battles, proving she'd never yield. The blacklist hit hardest in April 1951. Fresh off her Oscar nod, she was poised for stardom when her husband Arnold Manoff was named a communist by director Edward Dmytryk. Refusing to testify against him, despite their strained marriage, she was listed in red channels among 150 others. Overnight, she was cut from a streetcar named Desire, her studio contracts canceled, her phone tapped, and the FBI trailed her. Even with her daughter, Dinah, she felt watched, describing it as dancing on a pin's head. Her marriage to Manoff disintegrated under the pressure. By 1953, both were jobless. Manoff wrote under the pseudonym Joel Carpenter for shows like You Are There and The Defenders, earning little. Lee pawned jewelry to feed Dinah, living among other blacklisted families, teaching acting for cash, and performing under aliases. Her income dropped to $1,200 some years. Her ingenue years lost to poverty. The blacklist trauma caused memory issues. She struggled to recall friends' names, a lingering scar. Her 2014 memoir, I Said Yes to Everything, forced her to confront this pain, revealing how fear and shame rewired her mind. To survive, she turned her Manhattan apartment into a secret acting school, teaching 15 to 20 students weekly for $25 each. Her first student, Sandy Dennis, later won an Oscar. Lee's candid lessons about casting couches and the blacklist toll made her classes legendary, earning her $300 to $400 monthly to support Dinah. She later joined HB Studio, studying alongside stars like Maureen Stapleton. Her marriage to Manoff ended in 1960 after 9 years, his affairs and the blacklist stress proving too much. He died of a heart attack in 1965 at 50, which Lee attributed to blacklist pressure. In 1961, therapy, costing $45 per session, half her income, helped her unpack why she always sought approval from powerful men, tied to her immigrant parents and distant father. This insight fueled her later mental health documentaries. She kept performing in theater, protected by Actors Equity, earning $55 weekly for shows like Arms and The Man and A Hole in the Head. In 1965, she won an Obie for The Maids and began directing at the Actors Studio. By 1962, her income was $4,000, nearly facing eviction. So she took TV roles in Europe under pseudonyms for $500 to $800 per episode, even getting a 1963 facelift to appear younger. a bid to reclaim her place in an unforgiving industry. Her exile ended in 1964 when her lawyer leveraged a favor with the House Un-American Activities Committee. Cast in Peyton Place as Stella Chernak, she poured her pain into 71 episodes, winning a 1966 Emmy, her first major role since The Blacklist. Frank Sinatra told her, "You deserve it, kid." In 1967, she starred in the Heat of the Night with Sidney Poitier, using her real grief over Manoff's death for a raw scene that stunned audiences. That year, Valley of the Dolls saw her as Miriam, a cutthroat agent, her performance authentic from living Hollywood's cruelty. A box office hit despite critical scorn, it marked her comeback. Marrying producer Joseph Fury in 1962, despite initial industry distrust, gave her stability and a daughter, Belinda. In 1969, her Oscar-nominated role in The Landlord as a racist mother shocked audiences, drawing from her family's hidden prejudices. On March 29, 1976, at 50, she won an Oscar for Shampoo, her 18-minute role one of the shortest to win. Her speech, "I must have really wanted this," wearing an old wedding dress, charmed the crowd. She'd lied about her age, with the LA mayor's help, to stay viable. That year, she was nominated again for Voyage of the Damned, her Jewish refugee role resonating deeply. Her 1972 Emmy for The Neon Ceiling sparked her directing ambitions, despite on-set tensions. In 1977, at 52, she played a bitter heiress in Airport 77, exposing Hollywood's misogyny toward older women. Her 1979 nomination for The Swarm came despite the film's $21 million flop, pushing her to direct. In 1980, at 55, she made history with Tell Me a Riddle, the first U.S. feature written, produced, and directed by women. Raising $1 million, it starred Oscar winners Melvyn Douglas and Lila Kudrova, earning festival acclaim. In 1986, she won the Directors Guild Award for Nobody's Child, a CBS film about Marie Balter's 20-year institutionalization, making her the first woman to win in the Guild's 51-year history. At 59, she defied Hollywood's ageism. Her 1975 Oscar win felt like a dead end at 48, with roles drying up, so she joined the AFI's Women's Directing Workshop. Her 1983 HBO documentary, When Women Kill, exposed female prisoners' abuse, including Manson follower Leslie Van Houten. In 1985, What Sex Am I? Tackled transgender lives, revolutionary for the Reagan era. Her 1986 Down and Out in America exposed Reagan-era poverty, earning HBO's first Oscar tie for Best Documentary. As the only actor to win Oscars for acting and directing, her Emmys for Peyton Place, 1966, and The Neon Ceiling, 1971, cemented her TV legacy. Her 1989 Battered documentary on domestic violence influenced policy and education, earning accolades from NYC and LA councils and Women in Film's first Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2023, at 97, she revealed her true 1925 birth year, admitting decades of age lies to survive Hollywood's bias. Studies show women over 50 get 78% fewer roles than men. Her 2014 memoir detailed the Blacklist's trauma, memory loss, and survival. At 99 in 2025, still vibrant with gray hair and red lipstick, she's Hollywood's oldest living director, with Turner Classic Movies planning her centennial tribute on October 31st. Her 74-year career, from Broadway in 1951 to directing today, is a testament to unbreakable resilience. What's your take on Lee Grant's incredible journey? Share in the comments below.